Manx Museum is 100 years old this year. It is home to an extraordinary collection of artefacts and archives that help tell the story of the Isle of Man and its people. To celebrate our centenary, we have curated a special exhibition and podcast, Museum 100, which will feature a kaleidoscope of treasures from our collections. Hello, I'm Katie King, Curator of Art and Social History for Manx National Heritage. Today I'm going to talk about a doll's house made by an internee at Knockaloe Internment camp on the Isle of Man during the First World War. The doll's house on first inspection looks a very grand house indeed. A 2-storey double-fronted gentleman's residence perhaps, or a fine farmhouse, or perhaps a country retreat. It has 9 windows to the front with a green front door and an impressive knocker. 2 chimney stacks with 5 chimneys sit atop the roof with 4 dressed rooms inside. Throughout, the walls are wallpapered, and it is certainly a house to aspire to. When we look at the doll's house more closely, we can start to find clues to when and where it was made. The entire house, including the delicately made furniture, are made from scraps of wood and scavenged materials. It has a double-hinged door at the back for access. There are 57 individually made pieces of furniture in the house, including Art Nouveau-style chairs, a Charles Rennie Mackintosh-inspired dining table, Japanese-style sofas, and an upright piano. A tiny foreign coin has been fashioned into a mirror for a dressing table, and bone needles have been shaped into poles to hang the curtains upon. The contents include a family of tiny fabric dolls. The doll's house has been a real labour of love, and many, many hours have been put into making this wonderful piece. Sadly, we do not know the name of the internee who made the doll's house and contents, but over the years we have uncovered a lot about what life was like for internees living at the camp. During the First World War, male civilians of so-called enemy nationality living in Britain were arrested and interned on the Isle of Man. At first, men were housed in tents at the Cunningham's holiday camp in Douglas, before a purpose-built camp was developed on farmland at Knockaloe near Peel. It had wooden huts, roads, and even a railway line, with the camp eventually housing up to 25,000 men. Internees were given basic shelter, food and drink, but as the war dragged on, more effort was put into the mental and physical welfare of the internees. Their confinement led to specific behavioural issues known as barbed wire disease, receiving its name from the aimless promenading of internees up and down the barbed wire boundary. Other symptoms included moroseness and an avoidance of others. It was decided that providing practical stimulation would help, and the Friends Emergency Committee, a Quaker organisation based in Great Britain, was invited to the island from 1915 onwards with the aim of providing books, tools, equipment and materials for the internees to work. Music, theatre, art, craft and education were all encouraged. Many of the items produced by internees were sold, with monies raised going back to support camp life. Sometimes an internee would exchange or barter an item with local people. Today we have a large collection of internee-made art and craft created in the camp, and many of these objects can be explored on our collection site, iMuseum.